Welcome back to our channel, guys. My name is Jay Chata. I'm the Managing Director at Kirpa Properties. In this video, I'll be covering Business Bay, one of the prime locations inside Dubai. I'll be talking about its location, the real estate, and some myths that you can uncover. So we'll be going through all of these things today. If you're interested to buy, invest, or sell property in the UAE, please get in touch with us on the email given below, and one of our team members will get in touch with you. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you want covered in this video series. This video series is about every area in Dubai. We'll be going to each and every area, giving you a tiny tour and talking about that particular area and its location, as well as other things, especially about real estate. So comment below if you want any other area covered, and we'll do that for you. So let's dive into it. Business Bay is one of those Dubai areas where people think they already understand it until they try to invest. Because Business Bay is not just one market, it's three markets stacked on top of each other. You have commercial offices, retail units, and ready apartments that behave like a downtown Dubai spillover. So today I'll be breaking it down properly. What's happening in commercial off-plan, how to underwrite ready offices, and how to buy ready apartments without getting trapped in service charges and very weak rental yields. So let's start with commercial off-plan, ready offices, and ready apartments. So let's first talk about the location. Business Bay sits right next to downtown on the Dubai Water Canal. It's essentially Dubai's density work and live district. Here's the key point. Business Bay demand is not just about residents, it's also about companies and staff who want to be close to downtown, Sheikh Zayed Road, and also experience the canal lifestyle. So both offices and apartments can work really well here. So let's split Business Bay into three investment categories. First, you have commercial off-plan, which includes future office and retail stock, which means you're buying tomorrow's office or tomorrow's shop, usually with a payment plan, and you're betting on supply and demand and rental growth. Second is ready commercial offices, where you get cash flow and lots of demand. You're buying into an existing office where the goal is lease fast, reduce vacancy, and work on the tenancy quality. If you look at online portals like Bayut, you can see that there's a lot of sales volume and a lot of demand in the commercial space. Number three is ready apartments, where you're buying an apartment for either long-term rent, short stay, or resale demand, driven by the proximity to downtown Dubai. So again, Bayut's Business Bay Apartment Market Index provides rental and sale price per square foot. And at the moment, it's very, very hot. Next, let's talk about the Dubai office market. It has been tight for the past 1 year. Supply has been very, very tight in Business Bay. Occupancy very strong, above 96%. And if you look at a report by Savills, the average office rent overall in Dubai is touching 233 dirhams per square foot, which is increasing quarter on quarter. So Savills is highlighting very strong year-on-year office rental growth in many areas, especially Business Bay. And Business Bay is probably the leader in that space. So Business Bay commercial is not just nice buildings, it's plugged into a broader office demand cycle all over Dubai. So Business Bay, being one of the prime districts for offices and residential, is very popular with companies. And having an office in Business Bay means you're in a strategic location. And so in Business Bay, commercial off-plan is usually one or two of products, office units and retail shops. So the office units are usually shell and core or fitted options, and the retail shops are podium retail and sometimes F&B friendly units. So Bayut even separates both of these and then tells you that this is an established segment. So let's use a real example that will help you understand what developers are actually bringing to the market. Centurion Properties has announced and launched Burj Capital as a premium grade A commercial tower in Business Bay, which is located not too far away from the canal. It's actually one block, one street away. You'll have a grade A building with modern layouts and a very corporate high HQ feel. The reason that this matters is corporate tenants pay a lot for quality, plus parking, plus accessibility, plus the brand address. So Burj Capital, ticking all of those boxes, will help you as an investor and as a tenant. So Bayut's off-plan project coverage also mentions another project called Inara by Omniat being a very luxury and high-end developer. So these are two separate developers pushing premium commercial product into Business Bay. And we believe that this will be able to absorb all of the demand that there is, plus leave some space for some more coming up. So more ready commercial offices, let's talk about that. Transaction data online, let's say on Bayut's Business Bay office sales transaction page shows sales volume and average price per square foot at around 2,263 dirhams, an average price around 3.4 million for the track period, which is about a year. So if you're underwriting a office or you're buying an office in Business Bay, a ready one especially, you'll have to check the price per square foot, the market averages, look at the tower quality, the lobby quality, tenancy risk, and what kind of businesses are looking at that space. So in Business Bay, offices do not behave uniformly. There are some towers where buyers or tenants will pay more premiums, such as Bay Square, which is a mixed business and retail cluster. So Bay Square buildings have commercial with offices and shops, and Bay Square 8 shows unit types as offices and shops with the completion year that you can find online. Property Finder also lists commercial properties in Bay Square starting at around 6 million dirhams, average price around 11 million dirhams. Another good example of a premium commercial space is the Opus by Omniat being a high-end developer. So the Opus is positioned as a much higher price per square foot than the general market in Business Bay. If you look online right now for listings, you're looking at price per square foot of 7,000 dirhams plus. So that can give you a little idea of how much of a premium people are willing to pay to get into an address like the Opus. So here's how you can underwrite, let's say, a ready office like a pro without overcomplicating it. Step 1, you have to look at the gross rent potential. So use the real transaction indicators as your base. Bayut or Property Finder will track that for you. You can look at market reports. You can see where the overall office rents are in strong demand in Dubai. Then you can look at step 2, which is subtract the hidden charges and killers, such as service charges and operating costs. Offices can look very high yielding until you find out the service charges below the investment. You also have to look at the fit out and reinstatement. So shell and core office means you generally do have to fit it out unless your tenant is willing to. Number 3 is vacancy and leasing friction. So 2 to 4 months it will take you to lease out your unit. At the moment, we're in very good demand, so maybe not that much, but still you'll have to figure or incorporate that into your feasibility. Again, your real return is not just the rent, it's the rent minus your time, energy, fit out, vacancy, and service charges. So you really have to go into a building and figure out all of these things before you invest your money. And of course, Kirpa can help you with all of these things. So let's now look at price per square foot and rent per square foot. So if you look at the Business Bay apartment sale prices and price per square foot, 1 bedrooms are trending around 2,300 dirhams per square foot, 2 beds around 2,280 dirhams per square foot, and the rental index shows the rental price per square foot at around 141 for a 1 bedroom and 129 for a 2 bedroom. And these are on an annual basis. So that can show you the amount of return. You're still not at the very high premiums in Business Bay. You're looking at roughly 6 to 7% gross after service charges and incorporating the vacancy rates. So even though these are the averages, do not take them for guaranteed. The 7% gross is in some buildings. Some buildings have higher yield, some buildings have lower yield. Really depends on where you're looking at. So Business Bay is not always the highest yield in the entirety of Dubai, but it is high liquidity. So you can sell your unit if you put it on the market. If you look online, you can see that there are reports where there are better yields in other places, but prime or lifestyle districts are lower yield but higher liquidity. So if you want to sell, these are the places where you should be investing. So we can look at these things for you, like I said, and figure out what are the higher liquidity zones or buildings within Business Bay and then offer you them. So don't focus too much on the yield, focus more on what is a building where you can buy an apartment and exit quickly if you have to. So Business Bay is not a cheap yield play. Business Bay is usually liquidity plus location play. You win by buying right and keeping your vacancy rate very low, okay? So let's now look at the Business Bay apartment buying checklist. Here's how to buy apartments in Business Bay. intelligently, right? So you first have to look at the service charges, look at the view and the noise, reality, canal view versus road or bridge noise, parking plus building entry experience, the layout efficiency, because business bay buyers punish wasted space. Then you have to look at the short-term rules and demand. So only if you're going into that route. If you're renting on a long-term basis, then it's different. But if you're looking at short-term, where generally returns can be higher depending on where the building is, then you do have to plug in those numbers. So here's the clean takeaway for Business Bay. Commercial off-plan is a bet on tomorrow's office and retail stock. It can be very powerful, and you can find better pricing than today's ready office space. So that is something you should definitely look at. And we can help you with those off-plan projects inside Business Bay, where you can potentially buy A-grade offices for 3,800 dirhams per square foot up to 6,000 dirhams per square foot. Next is ready offices in Business Bay. This is a retail heavy transaction activity is there, so your risk is lower. There's a lot of businesses moving into Dubai. And then we have ready apartments, where you can find high quality buildings, high liquidity plays. Don't expect too much yield in Business Bay regardless of where you go. But if you do find a great building, then yes, liquidity is there, but yield can also be there. So comment below where you're looking in Business Bay, which buildings you're considering for off-plan offices, or ready apartments, and I'll tell you the exact numbers you should check first before you buy. Please make sure to follow us and subscribe to our channel so you can get more value-based content like this.